Hello YouTube, welcome back to Papa's Happy Place. On this episode, I'm going to talk about my Christmas beer I made. It's a Gingerbread Braggot. Come back right after the intro and I'll tell you how I made it. Welcome to Papa's Happy Place. Here at Papa's Happy Place, we celebrate Christmas. And you may celebrate a holiday, and that's cool, but we all have some kind of tradition where food is involved, drink is involved. And this year I decided I wanted to make something a little different that was holiday inspired. And I got to thinking, what would be something that's a holiday that I could turn into a beer? I mean, people make the stouts, and they make the ales, and they make the this's and that's. And I want to do something a little different. So I got to thinking about it, and I went, man, I love fruitcake, but I don't know how to put that into a beer. It's a little too sweet for that. I got thinking, I got inspired. I had this thought. What if I could make gingerbread beer? Make a beer that reminded me of gingerbread. That's what I did, guys. I decided to have the flavors of Christmas in a cookie or something like that. That's when I decided also to make a braggot. Now, a braggot is part mead and part beer. So it's a mix, a mash of a couple different styles. And that honey would go fantastic with gingerbread. So I'll be putting up the recipe here, telling you all about how I made this recipe, how I came up with this recipe, and how I ended up brewing this beer. Alright, I'm going to go over the recipe real quick with you here. We had 6 3/4 pounds of pale malt for 44.5%. 3 pounds of honey at almost 20%, 2 pounds of Dingaman Special B. I used 2 pounds of just DME. I used the pale malt from Breeze, 1 pound of brown sugar, and 8 ounces of Victory malt. Threw a little bit of hops in here to make it beer. Had 1 ounce of Azaka at 30-minute boil, 1/2 ounce of Cascade, again 30-minute boil. Had 8 pieces of Star of Anise. I used about 1/2 ounce of powdered ginger and a couple ounces of orange peel, and that gave me my recipe for my beer. Also used some Whirl Flock, a little Fermento, and water profile on this one. Let's go over the water profile. I used reverse osmosis water. That gives me basically a blank canvas to create my water. And for this beer I went with an amber malty. I used 8.68 gallons, 8 3/4 gallons, pretty close to what I got to, of reverse osmosis water. The water profile I used was an amber malty profile, and that is 56 units of calcium, 9 units of magnesium, 46 units of niacin, 73 on the chlorides, 70 on the sulfates, and 120 on the hydrochlorides. To get to that profile, I used 2 grams of gypsum, 5 grams of calcium chloride, 3 grams of magnesium, or Epsom salt's what I'm using, and then 5.5 grams of baking soda, and that gave me my that real malty. single infusion mash, 158.7 is what my strike temp was. Went for 154. Striking between fermentability and a little maltiness, and then that was for 60 minutes, and then my mash out was 15 minutes at 169. I like to say just underneath. Just 30-minute boil on this. At that 30-minute boil is when I put in my honey, and I put in my brown sugar, my star anise, my ginger, all my flavorings I put in right at the end of the boil there. After my boil was over, I overnight cooled this, let it sit overnight. Got up in the morning, pulled it out of the kettle, and put it in my fermenter. Ended up right with 6.5 gallons. I like to have a little over 5 gallons in my keg when I put it in my keg menter. Let it cool off, let it condition for a little while. I want to get that harshness out of this over about a week and a half. All right, let's talk about the fermentation on this one. Fermented just a little over a week. I fermented under pressure. I held just a little over 15 pounds pressure on it. Right at 6 days. I don't have a problem with diacetyl, so I haven't had to do a diacetyl on this one. My yeast on this one, I ended up having to do a side around. I tried to get some Apex London Ale. 2336 would be the number on that one. I think any good type of a sweeter ale would probably work for this, but mine didn't come out. I'm coming off a starter, and I'm coming off a harvested yeast, and it didn't start in time. So I ended up having to. I just finished a beer, and I ended up having to take and throw it on that yeast cake. I was just harvested that yeast, but the problem is it's a lager yeast. It's 3470. So that's what I used on this one. Sometimes we do what we got to do. Again, 6 days. Ferment it out. Let it set a couple more days in the keg. When I had a couple solid days of numbers, that's when I went to the keg menter with the keg and let it set for about a week and a half. Started sharing, enjoyed my holiday. Let's do a tasting. Okay, here we are with Christmas beer, guys. Hasn't quite cleared out all the way. I don't know if you can see that. Not completely clear yet. Nice color, kind of an orange. I think you're getting kind of close to that color, what it is. So, aroma. Maybe a little fruit and some cinnamon. Yeah, that's nice. All right. Mouthfeel. Medium. Medium leaves a little bit on the tongue, but it's not like a stout or something. Just a little something. But it's not real crisp either. Okay. Flavor. All right, this is young. Real young. She's got some spice. Spicy. Little fire. Now part of that may have been the spices we did put in there. We put in some ginger, which may have added to that, but what I'm getting is kind of maybe a fusel alcohol. And I have noticed this during the fermentation, testing my samples, that it's had some fusel alcohol to it, real strong. Now, it's going away. This is a nice little, starting to mellow a little bit. So I think that's what I'm getting, is some fusel alcohols in there, but that's going away. I'm taking it to the guys where I work. I'm going to share this one for Christmas. Just thought I would tell you how it turned out. Nice Christmas beer. I don't get all the spices. I get a little fruitiness, but that's part of the homebrew process, is testing stuff, seeing what you want to do. And I think next year, if I do this beer again, I'll probably end up going a little more ginger, a little more cinnamon, spicy kind of. And I think that the lager yeast made it a lot more crisp than I really wanted. So I'll definitely have to pull out some, get my starter up earlier so I can get it grown up to where it'll be a good starter. Anyways, thanks for coming and visiting me. Nice beer. Nice beer. Christmas. Happy holidays, guys. Happy holidays. And cheers. If you like this kind of stuff, you want to see more, like and subscribe. And right behind that, if you've done a holiday beer similar, if you've used ginger in a beer or something like that, and I messed some shit up, which I could, let me know down below, and I'll see if I can use it on some other stuff. Again, thanks for visiting.